So welcome back students. Now this is the second video of physical and chemical changes. In the first video we discussed about the types of changes which are very compulsory to know physical and chemical change. Otherwise you won't get to know what are the terms that we are using, what is the meaning of those terms. For getting the meaning of those terms you need to watch the first video. Only after watching the first video move on to the second video that discusses mainly on physical and chemical changes. Straight we'll talk about physical and chemical changes, but the terms which are necessary to understand all these concept about physical and chemical changes, for that you need to watch the first video. So let's start. So first we are going to discuss about physical changes. Why we are only discussing about physical changes and simultaneously why we are not discussing about chemical changes? Because I want you to understand physical change first. If you understand physical change first, you just have to take the opposite of that, and that will be the answer for chemical changes. So first only focus on physical change. Let's start with first point. The first point which I'm going to write here is the most important point. When you are provided with a question in the examination that tell whether the given process is physical or a chemical change, then most of the time the factor that we use is reversibility, or whether the process is reversible or not. On the basis of that is enough to judge physical and chemical changes in most of the cases. So reversible means if A got converted to B, if B is again convertible to A, it means it is reversible, and if such process is there, it comes under physical changes. Physical changes means reversible changes. Second thing is, it is a temporary change. Again, go back to the same example. If A got converted to B and again B can be converted back to A, it means conversion of A to B was not permanent, it was a temporary change. If it would have been permanent change, B could not be reversed to A. Okay, so physical changes are temporary changes. Third point is composition and properties remain same. In these type of changes, the composition and properties remain same. After this I will give an example and you will see that all these points are matching with that example. Okay, composition properties will remain same. Next is no energy exchange. Okay, there is no exchange in energy when we are talking about physical changes. Okay, so I hope these 4 points are clear to you. Why? Because opposite of this is your chemical changes. But to clarify it more, let us talk about an example. Suppose H2O, water, got converted to H2O, vapors, and ice is also water. Ice is also water, H2O is also water, H2O is also water, although it is in vapor state, but it is just like water only. Why I'm talking only water? Why I'm not saying that H2O is ice, H2O is ice, and here also H2O is ice? Because mostly when we see this H2O, this compound, it is normally seen as water. That is why I'm not using any other name. All the names are same. If I want to convert this vapor back to water, then what I will do, I will condense it. Condensation is a process. I hope you know that water vapor can be converted to water by the process of condensation. That is how cloud gives rain. So by condensing this, I can get water. By freezing this, I can get ice. By giving some heat to the ice, I can get back the liquid state, that is water. So normally at normal conditions of temperature and pressure, this H2O exists in liquid state. That's why I'm using the word water. Okay, so H2O is water, this H2O is also water, this H2O is also water. It means chemical composition is still the same. The chemical composition is still the same. Now point number 1, how to verify point number 1? It is reversible. If once I convert ice to water, again I can get ice from water. I can convert water to water vapor, again I can get water from water vapor. It means this is reversible. Okay, the process is reversible. Ice can be converted to water, water to water vapor, water vapor to water, water again back to ice. All these things are reversible. So reversibility is verified. Second is it a temporary change? Definitely it's a temporary change. If I convert water to ice, again I will give some heat to ice and again I will get back the water. It means this change is temporary. Only under the effect of temperature and pressure these changes are happening and again they are getting back to their original state. It means this one is a temporary change. About composition property, I already told you that same composition, same property. It is not going to change to some other new product. Okay, mostly in temporary changes or in physical changes we are not getting any new product. That is one of the factor which we haven't written here. Let us add that point also. New product is not formed. This is also one of the important point. New product is not formed. H2O, after changing temperature pressure, again the formula H2O, again the formula H2O. Okay, do not get confused with dry ice. This is simply ice. Dry ice is CO2. This is ice. Formula H2O, water H2O, water vapor H2O. Okay, so there is no change in composition properties of this given substance. And if you get to know through thermodynamics, that is not right now, it's not in your course. If you get to know about the heat exchange in this particular process, you will get to know that no heat is exchanged, and for that you have to study thermodynamics and another branch of chemistry. But for your class only, for this level of your class, just you can remember that there is no energy exchange in physical changes. Is there any new product? No new product is formed, so that is why it's a physical change. 5 points are compulsory for you to define a physical change. Mostly what question comes from this chapter is give any 3 points of difference or any 4 points of difference between physical and chemical changes, or sometimes the question is what do you mean by physical changes, what are the properties, okay, and give an example to clarify it. Okay, now let us go back to chemical change. Only if you understood all these points, then go back to chemical change. Okay, because we have to take the opposite. Now let us take the opposite. Opposite number 1, reversible. So chemical change are irreversible. Always make short note. Do not write in a statement that chemical changes are irreversible in nature. That you can do in the examination. Okay, when you are studying something, when you want to remember the points, just write in short points so that you can remember it. In the examination you can elaborate those points. Okay, so first point is chemical changes are irreversible. Second, if physical changes are temporary, it means these are permanent changes. Just take the opposite. Third point, composition and property remain same. Here composition / property changes. Fourth point, no energy exchange, energy is exchanged. Here energy gets exchanged, energy exchange takes place. Third point, new product is not formed in physical changes. Here new product is formed. Now see, what you have to do is only remember these words and your chemical changes over. The properties of chemical changes are over. In the examination, write in detail as much as you want according to the marks. Okay, irreversible, permanent, composition property changes, energy changes, and new product is formed. Okay, now let us take an example and see whether these points are verifying there or not. Okay, whenever you want to make a note, just pause the video and make a note. Okay, now let's see whether these points are matching or not. And same example which we already studied in our video number 1, milk to curd. Milk to curd is a chemical change. Now let us see whether these points are matching or not. Number 1, irreversibility. Is curd reversible to milk? Is curd reversible to milk? No. It means first point is verified, that is irreversible. Chemical changes are irreversible. Second, is it a permanent change? Definitely it's a permanent change. If curd cannot be reversed back to milk, it means it's a permanent change only. Otherwise, if curd could be reversed to milk, then this would have been a temporary change. But this is not a temporary change. Once you get curd, you cannot convert it back to milk. Okay, so second point is verified. Third point, chemical composition and property changes. Definitely changes. Why? If you taste milk and if you taste curd, You will easily get to know, even if you don't see that what you are drinking, just by the taste you will get to know which is curd and which is milk. Why? Because the chemical composition have changed. Curd is little sour in taste, fat content is more. Okay, because when milk is acted upon by bacteria, then they convert it to curd. It means some changes are happening with the milk to get it converted to curd. The taste clearly tells that milk is different and curd is different. If you taste ice and you taste simple water, both are having the same taste. They are not going to show any change in their taste. But if you taste milk and if you taste curd, they will definitely show that you will definitely get to know that these are different. Why? Because the chemical composition have been changed by the effect of bacteria here. So in a chemical chain, you will definitely get a change in composition as well as property. Curd has a different property, milk has a different property. When you are using it as a medicine, where you are using milk, you don't use curd there, and where you are using curd, you don't use milk there. Okay, so definitely the properties are different. So third point is also verified. Fourth point tells that energy exchange take place. Definitely energy exchange take place, because when bacteria is acting upon it, there are various type of gases which are absorbed, or it may be evolved from that. Gaseous exchanges are there. That is why the taste is changing. Whenever bacteria acts upon the milk, there are some gaseous exchanges, and whenever there are gaseous exchanges, it means there is some exchange in energy. I hope this point is clear. Whenever bacteria acts upon something, let us forget this example. Let us simply talk about a dead body of an animal or a human or anything which you can think of. Talk about a dead body. What happens with that body? After some time, many gases are evolved from that body due to action of bacteria. Okay, due to action of bacteria, this dead body slowly deteriorates, and there are many gases which are coming out of it, which are foul. You will get a foul odor of it. Okay, so these gaseous exchange gives rise to energy exchange. Okay, that dead body once get deteriorated, you cannot convert it even to this state. You cannot convert it to that state which was in which that dead body was earlier. Although it's a dead body, but after 3 days, suppose it's 3 days and a dead remain is there of a dog or any animal. Okay, after 3 days, you cannot apply any medicine, you cannot use any technique to get it back convert to the condition of that dead body which was 3 days before. Okay, why? Because energy exchange have taken place. You cannot reverse. Again, see the word reverse. That's why I said to you that it is the most important point there. You cannot reverse this state back to the state which was 3 days before. So why it happened? Because energy got exchanged. Energy exchange takes place. So you can categorize those type of processes as chemical changes. Whenever you will see all these things, you will see that reversible word will be definitely there. Permanent change means cannot be reversed back to original state. So that is why I said to you that reversible is the most important point here. Any process, if you want to check, just check reversibility first. 95% cases you will get the answer by reversibility method only. Okay, so fourth point is also verified. Fifth point, is there a new product? Is this product same as the substrate that we have taken? The substrate that we have taken was milk, acted by bacteria. The product we got was curd. Is the product and substrate the same thing? No, they are not the same thing. They are totally different. It means new product is found. So new product is found when we are dealing with chemical changes. So all these 5 points are verified for this particular example. Not only this example, you can take any example. Just check the reversibility. Suppose the most one of the question which has been repeated many times is, suppose there is a piece of cloth. Suppose there is a cloth and you cut it. Sorry, there was some technical issues. So we were here. We had taken the example of cloth and small pieces of cloth. I told you that this is one of the repeated questions. So how to check? So we will use those 5 points and we'll check which one is more better. It is not always compulsory to take reversibility, although 95% questions will be solved by reversibility only. But we have to check all. Okay. So for after checking those 5 points, the best one is it a new product? this one fits more better than other. Is it a new product? Suppose this is taken as substrate and this is taken as product. So is it a new product? No, this is not a new product. This cloth have the same property as this cloth, pieces of cloth. So this is not something new. This is bigger part, this is smaller part. So no new substances formed. If you want to check the property also in that way also you can check. Point number 3, how you can check? Is the chemical property of this substrate different from the chemical property of product? No, answer is no. It means the chemical composition didn't change. So in this way you have to use these 5 points and you have to check which one is better regarding the given question. You have to check first the question. Suppose I talk about your flour and I talk about chapati. Okay, this is raw flour that you've taken from, suppose from your market or somewhere. Suppose this is a wheat flour, so that you can understand more clearly. This is a wheat one, this is chapati. So now just think that, are both these things same? This is your substrate now and this is your product. Are both of them having the same content, or are they having the same property? No. This is something different, this is something different. In this case both the things were same, bigger part, smaller part. Okay, but here the the composition and chemical property is different for wheat flour and it is totally different for chapatis. Okay, in this way so you can check. Or if you want to check, this is something new product and this is a product, this is a substrate, this is a material different from the product. They are not having the same property, they are not having the same composition. Another way to check is reversibility. Here also you can use reversibility. Is it reversible? Just think that, can you convert chapati back to wheat flour? No, the answer is no, you cannot convert. Since you cannot convert, it means that this is a chemical change. So what you have to do is, in this chapter, first of all, remember the definition of physical and chemical changes. Okay, definition means those 5 points, at least 5 points you should know. Okay, then the question most of the time that comes from this chapter is, they will give you any of the process and they will tell you that whether it is chemical or physical, justify. You have to justify whether it is physical or chemical property, and these also you have to justify from these 5 points. Check the 5 points, which one is matching to which process. Suppose I talk about this process, so most of the points are matching from the chemical changes. The 5 points of chemical changes, out of those maximum points will match for this process. So this process is a chemical change. If I talk about this, so maximum points will be matching for the points that we have written for physical changes. So this is a very easy chapter. What you have to remember is definition of physical and chemical changes, these 5 points, and you should know how to apply these points to check whether a given process is physical or chemical process. Okay, so I hope this chapter is clear to you. It was a very easy chapter, and still if you have any doubt you can comment. Okay, I will answer your doubts there. So I hope these all things are clear. So in the next video we will come with another chapter. Till then, keep growing, keep studying. Thank you.